Everyone understands that OCD compulsions are things like washing your hands, jumping over cracks, lining things up straight. And yes, those are compulsions that are commonly done in OCD. However, there is a whole other category of compulsions that we have to make sure we understand if we're going to treat OCD effectively. And they are called mental compulsions. There are compulsions and behaviors we do physically, actions, things we can do throughout the day that you could visually see someone doing. But there are a whole lot of compulsions people are doing that you would never know, and they're doing them in their head. Now, in today's video, I am going to help you recognize mental compulsions in OCD and help you to understand how to catch them and what to do once you have caught them in their tracks. Now, my name is Kimberly Quinlan. I'm an OCD specialist, and I am on a mission to help as many people as I can. This is a very, very misunderstood condition. And the good news is once you actually understand the condition, you can actually go and get better and live your life and not be overwhelmed by these intrusive, repetitive thoughts and not be spending your whole day doing these compulsions. So let's get into it. So first we have to understand the difference between just regular old thinking and an actual mental compulsion. A mental compulsion is a mental act of thinking to try and reduce or remove the uncertainty or discomfort you feel. Now, this is usually done urgently. It's usually done to reduce anxiety and uncertainty, and it's usually done from a place of complete fear and dread. Now, this is different to real problem solving. Real problem solving is, I need to figure out what bus service we're going to take from the airport back home after our vacation, and then you go online and you try and solve that problem. That is just problem solving. Mental compulsions is thinking done in response to an irrational, unwanted, repetitive and distressive, intrusive thought, feeling, sensation, urge, or image. So what you first really understand here is that mental compulsions is a different activity or a different act than just rational, logical problem solving. People who do mental compulsions are trying to manage an immense feeling of uncertainty, an immense feeling that something bad is about to happen. And it causes them to speed up in a very rapid way to try and get that feeling to go away. There are many different types of mental compulsion. Maybe you have mental counting. Maybe you do a mental compulsive prayer. Maybe you do mental hoarding. Maybe you ruminate. Maybe you catastrophize. There are many different ways in which you can practice mental compulsions. They don't always look the same, but they always have the same function, which is to try to resolve or remove the anxiety or uncertainty that you feel. Now, when I ask clients how they recognize them, they might share stories like, I feel like the whole world is going on around me and all I can focus on is getting this one thing figured out. Other people have said that it felt like their body was tense and they're like gripped in, they're like locked into solving this, and everything, they start to feel dizzy and confused and they can't get any kind of clarity on what they're trying to solve. Other people will say they have an immense degree of anxiety in their body and they feel like they can't move on until they solve this one thing that they're having uncertainty about. There are many ways in which some people even say that they're mentally trying to find a resolution so it feels right. It's not maybe that they're not trying to solve something, but they're trying to get a feeling of rightness, that things are right again. They can move forward again once they get clarity or clear relief from the thoughts and feelings that they're having. Now, what's so important here is that you could be speaking to somebody. Let's say you're at the grocery store and they're checking out at the checkout register and they have a smile on their face and they're pretty coherent. They're talking to you, they're interacting with you. And without you knowing, they might be engaging in the most brutal mental compulsions in that moment. People who have mental compulsions can hide it. Often they have decided not to do physical compulsions, maybe because they don't want to be noticed by people doing them, but instead they go up into their head and try to to solve that uncertainty in their mind, and you would have no idea. So before I finish up, there is one key piece that I want you to know that is so important for you in order to go through and get recovery, and that is this. You can work to reduce these mental compulsions. These are not a personality trait. So often I have clients or students telling me, oh, I thought this was just my personality. I thought this was who I was. I thought I was just a worrier. I thought I was just someone who catastrophizes. But what I want you to understand here is this is not a personality trait. This is a behavior you engage in that you can learn to stop doing. It will take a lot of practice. It will take some time. It will take a lot of imperfect action. But you can learn to have those intrusive thoughts, have those intrusive repetitive feelings, and learn how to not engage in mental compulsions to reduce or remove that discomfort that you feel. Now, that is going to take time and a lot of strategy. But if you head over to cbtschool.com, we have an entire course called the Rumination Reset. It's actually a very short course, but it will teach you the specific skills that you need so that moment when you catch yourself being triggered by your intrusive thought, you can pause and be very clear about the actions you're then going to engage in and learn how to not engage habitually to mental compulsions, because so often it is habit. It's something we have habitually learned to do to manage those intrusive thoughts. And there are other very helpful, very important skills that can help you learn to come back to the present, back to the things that are important to you so you can be fully there for the things that matter and actually treat yourself kindly along the way. Again, head over to cbtschool.com if you're interested. That, my friends, is how to recognize mental compulsions in OCD.